Hey everybody, it's your old pal Brian Hunt. Welcome to another episode of 60 Seconds of Risk. And today I have the distinct pleasure of having my clients, Mr. BJ Johnson with J&L Imperium. BJ, welcome to be on the show.
Appreciate you having me, Brian.
Absolutely. So I really wanted to have you on the show, BJ, because you have a very unique background in the sense that you played at University of Texas football. You were there at the height. You didn't win the national championship. You were close.
It was close.
You were close, but
Very
playing
close.
national television, highest competition of football in the country. And from there, you had the opportunity to go to the NFL. You spent roughly 2 years in the NFL, correct, with
Yep.
the Broncos and the Tampa Bay
Buccaneers,
correct?
That's right.
So obviously, playing on national television, world-class competition, very fierce. So now you find yourself in construction.
Right.
I'm curious, though, A, what made you decide to make that transition? And then two, how did your experience in professional athletes help you to where you are now?
Yeah, well, so, for the longest when I got done, I came back home and I was working with my father, right?
Yeah.
We have a public affairs company, and so I kind of, by way of happenstance with a partner of mine, we got into construction. We got to doing, a little jock work here at BISD, doing some City of Dallas, little small concrete stuff. And then that kind of transitioned into an opportunity to get on some bigger projects, and then it kind of fell into our lab getting into ready-mix concrete. We had a guy of ours, is a friend of ours that played at Texas Tech.
Okay.
He's in construction as well, and so we've been on a number of big projects for their company and helping them out. And they've kind of, held our hand through construction and showed us kind of what to do in understanding the whole ready-mix business.
Yes.
And so that's kind of how we got into that. And your second question, the transition, going from, I've seen so many guys, man, where you don't know what to do when you're done with football, right?
Yeah.
And when you think about it, you've been doing something since you were 8, 9 years old, right? And you've had this schedule that you're always on when it's high school, college, and now professional. And so when that's gone, it's like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And you're always, football's a young man's game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, and especially now, your guys are retiring at 28, 27 years old. So, when you're 30, you're still relatively a young man. And so you have a lot of time to explore what you're doing and what you're trying to do with yourself. And a lot of guys identify with being a football player instead of being, I identify as a businessman who just happened to play football.
Yeah,
So
very good.
that's just kind of, but that's for me. That's not for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And it's a learning curve once you get done. And, so many guys are depressed when they're done because they don't know what realm they're going into after football. So me and my father, we started a company before I went to college.
Okay.
So I kind of had a plan. Hey, I know football's not going to last long. So what's
Smart.
the next steps after that?
Yeah.
So the only employers I've had is the National Football League and my father.
Oh, wow. Because you and I were chatting about this before. Like, the reason I wanted to talk to you, and because, like, the 30 for 30 episodes on ESPN, which I enjoyed, one of my favorite ones, even though it's kind of sad, it was broke.
Yeah.
It's going through all those NFL players, professional athletes who had all this money and then are broke within years.
Yeah.
And there's a high percentage of the file bankruptcy within years of retirement, divorce within years of retirement. So I guess, as you're sitting here, people might be watching this, they're college athletes are pretty good. I think they got a chance at the pros, or maybe there's someone who's watching this in the pros right now. What piece of recommendation or advice would you give those people based on what you've gone through?
Well, it's kind of like, think about child actors.
Yeah.
How many child actors have, horrible experiences growing up as adults, right?
Yeah.
Because you're giving this limelight at such a young age, right? And so a lot of times football, basketball players are coming out of school, you're 20, 21 years old, you're giving millions of dollars. I can remember my first paycheck, like, whoa, we're going to the mall.
There you go.
But why am I going to the mall? I shouldn't be going to the mall, right? Learn how to spend your money, learn how to invest your money, right? And a lot of times, guys just don't have these things, right? Because your parents may not have these particular resources or availability of information to give to you. So you make decisions based on the knowledge that you have, right? And so what I would tell kids now, there's so many different avenues now. Think about the internet, right? The internet wasn't really that big when I was coming out of school, right? It was still dial tone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's so much stuff, information that you didn't have, but now that it's perfect to your feet and it's on your phone, right? For kids nowadays. And so, just learning, what the process is. There's so many examples of guys out there that, have gotten football and got out, made some money. One of the guys that, we talked to is Taylor Gabriel, who is a local Metroplex guy. But, he's now out of the league, but he's 29, 30, has money in the bank, and now he's in development and construction, right? And so, some of these guys get it and some don't. And, as many as you can try to reach, is more beneficial in the long run.
Well, to close on that, I want to talk to you about your company's logo. Dream, plan, grind.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with that? Because I think it's great, but just kind of walk us through those 3 stages.
I mean, I just think that's just life, right? You every day you go to sleep and you dream about what you're gonna do, right?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna dream about it, now you got to put a plan in place, right? And now once that plan is in place, you got to grind, baby.
Yeah, you
got to get after it because it's not gonna happen, right? I tell my wife all the time, these paychecks ain't showing up to the door, right? I gotta go get them. I gotta go chase them down, right? And so if you're not grinding on the plan that you dreamed about, then what are you doing? So that's why they dream, plan, grind.
No, BJ, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Brian. Thank you.
As always, guys, if you find something you liked here, please let me know. Send a message on LinkedIn if you want to see a certain topic or individual. As always, you can find these YouTube channels on my YouTube channel, videos on my YouTube channel, as well as the links on Twitter and Substack. Until next time, guys. Thanks.